So I'm a Geeks woman in leadership, aiming to empower those for brighter futures, especially our youth, and possibly becoming leaders themselves. Hi, my name is Marike Fourie. I'm the Director of Operations at Geeks4Learning. At Geeks4Learning, I'm in a position where I'm able to influence and empower those around us to become future leaders, to bring the best version of themselves every day. So to answer this question, I have to go a few years back. I studied a degree in sports and recreation management. I worked in the sports industry, and then I got married, took a sabbatical, and at that time I had two options. I had to either choose go the sports route or go a different route, and I felt like God led me to go the different route, which was completely out of my comfort zone. I ended up at Riverside, which is an IT company, and I was like, hey, I don't know anything about IT. I know how to use a computer, and that was that. So over the years, what I've come to know, I've learned, now I know at least what Java is, and it's not a cup of coffee. So I started at Riverside as the sales associate. I quickly became the Skills Revolution Program Manager at Riverside, where we were upskilling grads and making sure that they have the right technical skills to go and work at our various clients according to their technical landscape. I also, over time, became the Fulfillment Manager at Riverside, where I was overseeing both Skills Revolution as well as the recruitment team. And there came a point where I was like, recruitment, it's not like what makes my heart beat. And I went to God. I'm like, okay, what do I do in terms of my career? Where do I go? I don't know. I understand business, and I understand the various departments, like the HR department, the finance department, the marketing department. I understand all those aspects. And I was like, okay, operations manager. So I went to my boss and I sat down with him and I said, I would like to become an operations manager. Can we start that journey for me to redirect my career path into operations? And he said yes. COVID happened. In my opinion, for my career, it was the best thing that could have happened, because it gave us time to now actually start up Geeks4Learning. So my boss gave me the thumbs up and said, okay, let's start Geeks4Learning. Let's get the company registered. Let's get it accredited. Let's do everything that we need to launch. So I did that, worked closely with the team, and then at the end of December 2020, we launched Geeks4Learning to the market. I then naturally became the head of operations within Geeks, and as the team has grown, so has my career and where I'm heading. So as much as what I am for women empowerment, in my position, I so look at the entirety of everything, and that is our youth. So my passion is empowering our youth, helping them grow. And when I look back at the past, and I also look at the current youth that we work with, what inspires me is how they are able to use the platform that we give them, use the opportunity that they are given, and go and make something out of themselves. A few people have come back after they started their careers in the big insurance and financial companies in South Africa, and they're like, thank you for the platform, thank you for the opportunity that I can be where I am now. And for me, that is the success story. It's for these youngsters to go beyond their past, their backgrounds, and actually influence their futures, their future generations' futures, and go forward from there. There's no specific story. So you do get people, like I said previously, who come and they share their journey and the impact that I had in their journey. But then there's another part where people don't often share, but I can see, I've learned how to observe those around me, and I can see, has what I've said to them been taken, and has there been a change? And that's what I look at, is that day to day, month on month, year on year difference in an individual. And that is the success, is those small little impacts, those small little drops over time that just enables the next person. So I think to answer this question, we need to go a step back and understand what it means to be a leader. I think there are lots of people who want to be leaders, but what does that actually mean? And being a leader means you have followers, meaning that you have people who look up to you and you have an influence over them. So that comes with great responsibility, right? And how do you influence those around you? Do you have a positive influence? Do you have a negative influence? Because you can be a leader and have a negative influence. So it comes down to wanting to have a positive influence over others, wanting to be a mentor to others. And that goes back to yourself as an individual, right? It's about self-awareness, knowing where did you make a mistake? How do you overcome that? It's about reflection. How do you look at yesterday and then decide, okay, critically, what do I need to change to be better today? One of my favorite podcasters, Dr. Jordan Peterson, says you should not be comparing yourself to others. You should be comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. Having that growth mindset, having that mindset of, okay, I did this yesterday. This is maybe where I made a mistake, or this is where I did something almost right, but not yet, or I did something right. And you critically analyze and decide, okay, today, how do I do things differently? Remember, people, you can talk the talk, but at the end of the day, people are going to look at your actions. They're going to look at you and what are you doing? And that is what they'll be taking, So you don't want to be a hypocrite. You don't want to be saying one thing, doing a different thing. So again, it's that practice of self-awareness, of reflection, to see how do I, through my actions, through me being me, because you mustn't be anyone else except yourself, through you being you, a better version of yourself, how do you enable those around you? How do you influence those around you? How do you mentor them? How do you help them have the same mindset of growth, of aspiration, of a hope and a future? And then you think about, okay, how do they become effective leaders? How do they become influencers to their followers? And my advice to young women will be, start learning to not condemn yourself, but critically self-reflect and create that sense of self-awareness so that you can build yourself to become a leader that others look up to. This question had me thinking, because a legacy is something that outlives you at the end of the day. So going back to my point, a leader has followers, and then those followers can become leaders themselves, and they have followers. So in terms of legacy, in terms of something that outlives me, I would really love for people to be able to build themselves as leaders where their followers become great leaders to their followers and have that reproducing effect, So for me, my biggest responsibility is how do I look at myself and circumstances and actually make sure that what I put forward, what I display to those who follow me is the right attitude, the right mindsets, the right behaviors, so that when they're in their roles, they've actually had a good example to look up to, and they can then reciprocate and do that for their followers. Be yourself. I don't think I can. There's lots of nuances, there's lots of situations you'll find yourself in. Each situation and each person you deal with will require a different type of leadership style, a different part of who you are, and it's something you'll have to figure out. You'll make mistakes, but don't let your mistakes be your downfall. Rather have them as something to reflect back, look upon, and say, okay, how do I go forward from here? Biggest thing, don't change who you are. Bring who you are, because someone out there needs you. And you have to figure out how do you be the best version of yourself so that other people can get what they need from you.